Let me ask you all this.
Yeah.
I want LeBron to stay in Cleveland, but I also know that organization is dog shit. If he leaves, I don't think LA's the place for him.
I don't think LA's the place.
Where do y'all think he should go?
New York. I feel like.
Second
in a lot of ways.
Where's second?
What?
Second.
Oh,
Honestly,
second after New York.
You're gonna say New York again?
Honestly,
For
I'm
real,
not
though.
going to say New York. I'm not going to say
Honestly,
that. I think he should retire. I think that if you don't come to New York, you don't really want it. You really what it is.
I'm honestly thinking about that. I had 3 choices for
Go.
the end of
Hit
this
it.
year. I think he either stays or 4. I don't think New York's a bad option, but I don't think it'll happen because, why does good things ever happen to the Knicks?
If y'all had one more really good piece, though, it would be a real candidate.
I believe so, and they'll have money for it, but we'll see. Philly, I think Philly's an intriguing option.
Really fucking interesting.
Very intriguing option. I think he either stays in Cleveland or retires. I don't think he has much to prove, really. Like, he's 32 years old.
I don't think he's ready to retire.
Take.
I don't think he's ready to retire.
Ron retiring is a hot take.
I don't think it's that. I don't think what else does he have to prove? Does he really want 7 rings? Does he really want to beat Jordan that bad? I don't think he's Kobe obsessed with that number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I think LeBron has already achieved. Like, nobody talks about Kobe like they talk about LeBron, and LeBron's still active.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he's chasing Kobe. I don't think he's chasing anyone.
Yeah.
I think he's already carved out this legacy
Yep.
of a career
Yep.
where if he walked away next year,
Yeah.
he'd be good.
Beating Golden State. Beating Golden State was his 6th ring.
Yeah, I think so.
He beat the best team on the
nobody's
planet.
done.
He did it, and it's something nobody's done. He beat the best team on the planet pretty much single-handedly. I mean, obviously there was help from guys, but he was the most dominant force there. And wow, yeah, I think that really cemented his legacy to us. He got his rings. I mean, I don't know. I think if he does go to another team, it has to be a big market team. I think that's one, he wants to experience what it's like to play for a big market team, but I think there are also business ventures.
And that's why I don't think New York is. And people think I'm crazy. People think I'm being a homer or whatever. But I think that's why I think New York isn't that out of the picture. Because, like, let me.
He's thinking past basketball.
Yeah. Let me try.
Let me be around billionaires. Go.
Right. It's like, okay, why is this picture so important? You know what I mean? Like, clearly,
he knows what he's doing.
He knows the importance of winning at the Garden.
Yeah.
He also is super close friends with Carmelo Anthony. He still harbors resentment for the Phil thing, and I think he harbors that resentment because I think at one point he really was thinking about linking the whole Banana Boat squad in New York, and I think Phil fucked that up. I think there was a good point where I don't think it's a point where like the bridges are so burned where he couldn't go back to Cleveland because there was, what's his name? Dan Gilbert. Him and Dan Gilbert were not fucking with each other at all. That was burn the bridge, throw the gasoline behind you, and leave type of shit. And he still came back.
Because LeBron is arguably the most like emotionally intelligent athlete that exists right now. He is able to remove ego. Most athletes, Kobe would never be able to do that.
No, not at all.
No.
Ever. He'd be too upset. He'd have that like psychotic serial killer anger towards
that
somebody.
Underbite he does, that Kobe underbite. Yeah.
That's the Kobe. That's the
Pat in his chest.
Mamba mentality face. Or whatever
LeBron is able to sit back
Yeah.
and go, who cares about this owner? It's my team.
Yeah.
It's not the owner's team. Whatever I do here, I get. He knows that, and I'm going to come back and do it. Like Dan Gilbert works for him. I think in his.
I mean, yeah. I if somebody puts a gun to my head and is like, "Where's LeBron going?" I think he stays in Cleveland because I do believe he means more to Cleveland than he would ever mean in New York.
Of course.
No matter how big he gets, he can bring New York 10 championships.
Don't say that. Don't say
I
that.
don't think he'll. Dog, New York is big, bro. What does Cleveland have? What does Ohio have as a state?
Fuddruckers.
They have nothing. They have nothing.
10 championships.
No matter
if we got one champ,
if we got one championship,
if we got one championship,
dog, he would be celebrated. He'd be revered, but he would never be the guy in New York. He can be. He transcends sports in Ohio. He transcends sports in Cleveland.
Here's how much he means to Cleveland. Even if he leaves again, he will still get a statue.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely. They should build him a statue now in Cleveland.
Yeah.
The fact that they haven't.
I would guilt trip the fuck out of him. I'd be like, yo, put this shit
absurd
right in front of the arena
And build it on top of the copy of your letter.
it's like you're really gonna leave us, bro, after we built you this nice statue. Fuck all that shit.
No, he's he
We'll
deserves
have a
it.
bunch of alt-right dudes like taking down the statue like it's fucking Robert E. Lee.
Even
But if you
the
go-
most racist Ohioans
Oh yeah.
love LeBron.
You can
yeah.
support Trump and LeBron
Oh,
if you live in Ohio.
if they would
I don't know,
after
man. That was a
bringing it
red
to
state.
Cleveland,
Dude,
dude.
Yeah,
After
they
bringing
red
that
state
back
with
to
some
Cleveland,
LeBron jerseys.
dude, exactly. You know what else is red? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Looks like a conservative to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Okay, Akaash, where do you think he goes next year?
I think he stays in Cleveland. Where would I like to see him go?
Yep.
The Spurs. I would love to see him with a
Really?
great coach. I don't think he would do it. I would love to see him with a great coach.
Okay.
Also interesting, the Bucks.
The Bucks would be interesting. That's very
Just pure
interesting.
basketball.
He's
the
not go-
market
he's
is
not
dog
going.
shit.
He's
He
not going,
wouldn't do it.
but it is a very interesting watching him and Giannis.
Him
together.
and Giannis on the wings,
Or
you're just not
Giannis.
going to score.
Wow.
You can't penetrate anything.
Yeah, that is just that'd
That
be
is
interesting.
interesting.
I don't think he'd go simply because of the market. If he's 28-year-old LeBron,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think so.
or he waits for Giannis's contract to come up and say, "Giannis, come play with me. Let's run shit."
Right.
Okay, let's talk about. We can talk about Stevens or Klay Thompson.
I
What
want
do you
to
go
get
to?
in some Brad Stevens because I gotta be out in a little
Okay.
bit. But
And then we'll. Okay, so Brad Stevens. Here's my thing about Brad Stevens. Why do we make all the excuses for him?
what excuses are we making for him?
He's not. He's first of all, he's touted like he's like the best coach ever. He hasn't won anything.
Okay.
Okay, and we make all the excuses for him that no other coach gets.
Like what?
He has no players. Tons of coaches have no players. They get fired.
Who says he has no
But he
players?
won 15
The last
straight.
few years. But since he's been in the league, he's been embraced.
Okay.
Right? Since he's been in the league, Bill Simmons can't take his cock out of his mouth since he's been in the league.
That's what Simmons does with every Boston.
I mean,
sports.
Not
be
every
fair,
Boston coach.
To be fair, like Brad's like okay, so
Like if Doc Rivers doesn't win a championship, he's a trash coach. Why is he the head of the organization? Whatever. If this guy gets bounced out of the first round, what an amazing guy for getting this team together by the bootstraps and actually
I do think
2 first-round exits. Sorry to
this is the
interrupt.
first. This is
2 first-round exits, and then he went to a conference finals, but
they
were down 0-2 against the Bulls before Rondo got injured. So he was about to get bounced.
That's a great
Yeah.
point.
He was about to get bounced for his 3rd first-round exit. Now, that whole idea, like he didn't have stars on the team, worked for maybe the first 2 seasons. But last year, you have IT, legitimate star,
They go
and
to
you
the
got
Conference Finals.
what's the ugliest
But
jump shooter in the
He
world?
became a star. Al Horford. He
Horford.
becomes a star because of Brad Stevens
But
and being in that.
IT has always given you buckets. It's
Yeah,
just the
but
team
he
finally
wasn't-
let him go.
But it's different, man. Like it's different being like a microwave player. You come off the bench, you get like your 14, 15. That's like J.R. Smith, right? Like he could averaging 30, averaging 25 points per game. That's superstar.
Whenever
level
he was
production.
given minutes, he
Yeah.
gave you superstar numbers. IT.
I think
Whenever he gave you was given minutes.
I think we are putting the crown on his head a little prematurely. Let's
Yeah.
see what he does in the playoffs.
Mm.
But a 15-game win streak is really fucking impressive.
Extremely.
And all these guys are playing at a high level. One of them is a rookie. One of them is in his 2nd year.
I
And
think-
these guys are all playing well.
I agree with you. I think the reason why Brad Stevens gets a lot of that credit is because a lot of those teams that even made the playoffs made like really late runs and they weren't supposed to.
Also,
You know
he
what I
gets
mean?
love from players. LeBron says he's brilliant. Kyrie was
Yeah.
saying in the playoffs.
Everybody sucks. He's like the Bruce
he-
Springsteen of basketball. Like he's this like working class guy, and everybody gets behind him, and everybody
he's
likes
young,
him. He's humble.
He took a Butler team, which was nobody. He put Butler on the map, right? Went from nothing to one half court heave away from an NCAA championship against
Right.
a Duke power, like a great Duke team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then he comes to a storied franchise, which was in disarray after they lost the Big Three. They traded away.
Danny Ainge is brilliant, too. He needs
Oh,
credit. Holy shit.
I'll
this
tell
guy's
you this,
brilliant.
man. Like when he first made that trade, I'm like, Boston's gonna suck for a long time, and
Yeah.
they did.
That's the Herschel Walker trade of the NBA.
But yeah, it's one of those trades where you're just like, oh man, Brooklyn's
and
now.
fucking giving up the Brooklyn Nets pick this year instead of the Kings pick, they still might get the number 1 pick. These motherfuckers.
They still might get it, though. They're gonna be.
It's
They're
infuriating.
gonna
It
be
actually
eating,
pisses me off.
They're gonna be eating off of that trade until 2000.
It's bubbling. It's bubbling. Go, Akaash, go.
Oh man, nah, they've been eating off of that trade since what 2010.
I just feel like he's benefited from low expectations. And I feel like a coach, a player, it doesn't matter. It's interesting to have this whole thing come full circle. It's like Mayweather's expectation is to be perfect, so we hate him.
No, this is what's
Brad Stevens' expectation has always been to do shitty. Oh, we're tanking this year. Then he gets you in the playoffs. Like, what a great coach. Oh, we're going to be okay this year. Gets in the playoffs. What a great coach. At a certain point in time, if you keep making the plays, you keep doing well. Give him the same expectations as Doc Rivers. Give him the same expectations as Ty Lue. Give him the same expectations as Spoelstra.
This is the first year it's really on him. Like, this is, again, what I said like a few weeks ago on the podcast. You're either Don Nelson or are you Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson, whoever. This is the time. These few years right here is where we find out.
This year we decide because you have all your
this
studs.
Year, or maybe LeBron. You can still say LeBron is just so dominant. But if it's not next year, for sure, because then Noah Brown's in his or Jaylen Brown's in his 3rd year, Jason Tatum's in his 2nd year, Kyrie's in his 2nd year in the system.
Hayward is back.
Because
that's what they're going to say this year.
Hayward's injured. I honestly think this is the first year with like actual like he went into the season with actual expectations.
And he and I was with you, but he has won 15 straight. And I was making fun of Simmons for going off on 9 straight wins. 15 straight is pretty fucking impressive with a Golden State win in there.
Yes. The suck my dick run.
Oh, yes. Kaz is
15-0 since Kyrie Irving told that fan, suck my dick. We got to find that fan.
That's what I was about to say. Dude, that's the beauty. Like, dude, that's the beauty when you have like a powerhouse behind you. Mm-hmm. You could take little ideas like this and then we could blow them the fuck up. We find that fan, right? We find that fan and then we can bring him to Boston and introduce him to Boston people like, hey, once this
is the guy that was offered Kyrie's dick. And you guys haven't won.
I think the real question is, did he suck his dick? And if he did, how powerful is that man's mouth that he can give you a 15-game winning streak? This guy has the most motivational mouth in the NBA.
Kalani got nothing on this man.